Okay, folks, we have to get started, or we're going to fall back on the whole day. Please sit down, or please be very quiet. Either one. The reason we're using a mic, or I am, because I'm going to hand the mic to Mr. Kushner in a minute. He arrived this morning with a severe case of laryngitis, and although his plays have spoken very loudly, today he is speaking quietly, so we'll use a microphone. He's going to be presenting the Paul Green Award now. Then he's going to leave us for a while and come back at 3, and we're going to try and do the question and answer from 3 to 4, and we're going to see how long his voice lasts, and we'll go from there. You've all had classes or taught or been in improvs. You are now in another one. Okay? But no more than that. Let me introduce Tony Kushner.
Sit. Well, stand up. Okay, as you can you hear me? Am I? Great, the microphone's not working. Is that better? Yeah. Okay. This has never happened to me before. I called every actor I know last night and said, what do you do? And I got the most terrifying set of suggestions. Almost all of them were illegal. There were like 6 doctors in New York I could, have arrested on Monday. As you can hear, the past few days have been rough for me. I hope you'll forgive my disgusting laryngitical croak. Think of it as my tribute to Halloween. I kind of sound like the Crypt Keeper. I don't know what more I can add to my reasons for selecting Ms. Blake for this award beyond those I sent to Jim O'Connor a few days ago. They're in this blue book. Good sign language. I wish I could all read it. Theater is always in danger. I've been doing it professionally since I was 26, and now I'm 53, and I've seen terrible times and not so terrible times, and times that were almost approaching decent times, or at least decent for a few people in a limited way, hopeful times at least. But I can't think of a single moment when everyone who worked in the theater or cared at all about serious theater didn't have very good reason for believing that this labor-intensive, cash-starved, audience-starved art form wasn't in serious peril. It's always seemed on the brink of being engulfed by a tsunami of vulgarity and stupidity and pornography and, God help us. But weirdly, there are these people who keep arriving, and for reasons that, as I trod further and further into the recesses of cranky middle age, seem less and less comprehensible and certainly less reasonable, advisable to me, really seem to want to make an artistic and professional home in the theater. And God help them. As actually, if there is a God, I believe he or she might do. And I pray for his or her blessings to rain down on the talented arrivals. It's great that you give this award each year named after the very talented Paul Green. How lovely to encourage young artists. And I'm grateful that you gave me the chance, indeed the honor, to choose this year's winner, the magnificently talented Marsha Stephanie Blake. I've only worked with Ms. Blake once at a reading, and I've seen her once. And so I turned to my friend Bart Scheer. I emailed him yesterday and asked him if he had any thoughts about this remarkable actress he'd like to share, whom he directed in Joe Turner's Come and Gone. Bart wrote back from the basement of the Met, as he put it, where he is trying to work out Tales of Hoffman, and then he added, God help him. And this is what Bart said. What strikes me most about Marsha is the delicate combination of regality, like somehow she was born a princess with an endless vulnerability and complexity. What happens to her on stage somehow includes the audience until we recognize what she went through in people we know or perhaps in ourselves, as she carries us all through whatever experience she, and then in parentheses we, are deeply and firmly in the center of. When she walked into the world of Joe Turner, she came off the road searching for her husband, and within minutes, and this is really true if you saw her performance, within minutes, We all knew every detail of her life, every joy, every hope, and all the loss. And as a collaborator, Art continues, she offered endless patience as I found her generally ahead of every idea I had, but kind enough to let me feel it might even be my own idea. She offered an ear and an eye to her fellow actors, supporting her elders and guiding the youngsters. Her dressing room was always open, and she had about her a healthiness somehow rare in as good an actress as she truly is. And most of all, she's an artist in all she does, as a friend, as a liver of life, as a lover to her husband, a good, true friend. So, ladies and gentlemen, really, given how I sound, I think I'm entitled to say ladies and germs. I've always wanted to say that, but anyway. It's my great honor to present the Paul Green Emerging Artist Award to Marsha Stephanie Blake.
Wow, that doesn't even sound like me. I don't know who these people are talking about. This is such an honor. I'm not at a loss for words. And since I knew I would be, I wrote some down so that I'd be a little bit more confident and less shaky. So thank you all for coming and being here, and thank you, Mr. Roger Robinson, for being here in support of me. Roger from Joe Turner, my husband, and my best friends in the back. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Kushner. This is, when I know that I'm in the company of thousands when I say how much admiration and respect and awe I have for Tony Kushner. Ever since I started reading his plays in college. And when I got this email from him saying he wanted to give the award to me, I was very, very surprised. In fact, I was in complete disbelief. I thought some awful friend was playing some awful joke on me for a couple of days. And then when I realized that it was in fact true, I then went into shock and started running around and screaming through my small apartment to the dismay of my neighbors and my husband. And so until I actually got here today, I still wasn't even sure that this was real. I mean, I might have to watch the video later on to actually believe that this is real. I'm still not even positive it's happening right now. So thank you for making this real, Tony. Thank you so much. Can't believe I just called Tony Kushner Tony. It's impossible. Thank you all for making this real. This is not something I will ever forget, and thanks to the video, I won't actually forget it. And Paul Green, I did not know very much about when I heard I was getting this award, so I started doing some research, and I had it in my mind that I would come up here and list all his accomplishments and awards, thinking, you know, there couldn't be that many. Little did I know. He is a man, he lived life to the fullest in every sense of the term. He lived to be 87 years old, an impressive 87 years, and he won a Pulitzer when he was only 33 years old. He, at 43, got his name as the father of symphonic outdoor drama, and then after that first one, written in 1937, went on to write 16 more of those historical dramas, but then in addition, was also a screenwriter and wrote other plays and collaborated with people and wrote musicals, and he was the recipient of 2 Guggenheim Fellowships and 9 honorary degrees, and still somehow found time to be a semi-pro baseball player, a singer, a songwriter, a novelist, a poet, a playwright, a professor, a human rights and a civil rights activist way before it was in vogue to be any of those things. And so as my research went on, I realized, obviously, I could not stand up here and list everything. So in the interest of time, I won't. Suffice it to say that I am deeply humbled to receive this award, and that I hope in my next 87 years or so that I can live up to it and accomplish a fraction of what Mr. Paul Green did. So thank you all so much.
Folks, thank you, Tony. Thank you, Blake. The bar is now open.